Welcome back. Dogs not permitted at Shenington, but if you look a bit like a cat and you're the size of a cat, you might get away with it. Junior Rotax up next. Here's Jake with the grid positions.
And being Junior Rotax, it's as close as ever. Tyler Chesterton and Jonathan Hoggard on the front row with Kimber and Hudson, Turney and Apps, Foster, Brown, Edmonds and Barrett. Now that is an incredibly tasty top 10. William Pettit down in 12th position following a poor pre-final as far as he's concerned. He's had a lot of bad luck this weekend. He needs to pull it forward if he wants to stay in contention for the championship. 4 men still very much in contention in this final couple of rounds of the championship, but away we go and straight into the lead. It is Tyler Chesterton who's pulled clear with John Hoggard in 2nd position. William Pettit trying to move his way through the field. Watch him further way down the field. He's going to be rapid as here comes Mark Kimber trying to have a look for 2nd position. Joe Turney, he's up into 4th position. He's made a good start.
Turney Championship leader, the man in 2nd place there, Jonathan Hoggard, will want to take the win here and hope that Joe Turney has some sort of issue and ends up down the field to tighten up the championship positions. He's going for the lead.
Whoa, he's there
and
already.
Gets it. Great move.
Magnificent overtake from Hoggard into Hanger Corner. He didn't wait around, did he? Straight up the inside. First opportunity he got, bang, into the lead. Thanks, boys, I'm off. And now Kimber is having to defend from Joe Turney. Turney's going to have a look into Cafe to try and get through. He's not going to make it for the moment, but John Hoggard doing everything he needs to do to gain the ground on Joe Turney now, leading comfortably. Here comes Turney though, throws it up the inside of Kimber, and he's through into 3rd position. Nicely done. He's only got one more man standing between him and his championship rival.
And Miles Apps went through as well for 5th place. The GP plate, there he is. Orange helmet, blue suit, Dan Holland Racing man. Into 5th, he won the Kartmasters Grand Prix recently. Mark Kimber running 4th for Strawberry Racing.
Chesterton's having a look on the inside. He's going to try and get there, and the door's still wide open. Turney's gone through as well. That's big for the championship. Joe Turney has got one over on Jonathan Hoggard at the worst possible time in the championship for John Hoggard.
Yeah, that's the worst possible result through one turn there. Hoggard goes from 1st to 3rd, and the man going through to 2nd is the man in front of him in the championship. He didn't want to see that.
And look at Turney, he's disappearing, having a go for the lead already into the hairpin. He's got through. Hoggard is trying to get into 2nd position. No, you don't. Chesterton manages to cut across in time, and Joe Turney and John Hoggard have suddenly had a major role reversal from one lap to the next. Hoggard goes from 1st to 3rd. Turney goes from 3rd to 1st.
Yeah, Hoggard needs to get past now sometime very soon. He won't want to allow his teammate.
Oh, he goes, he's going to get there on the exit.
Great
he manages to
move.
get there, and look at that's impeded Chesterton big time. Chesterton's now having to defend. Down to 4th position, he's gone. So that's put Kimber up into the top 3. There is Kimber, now in 3rd position. But now it's Turney versus Hoggard. This is the battle we came to see.
How close do you like your racing? Look at this. It's not the biggest grid in the world, but it's close at the front. 7, 8, 9, 10, pretty much line astern. Make it 11 or 12, not much in it.
A dozen or so drivers still very much in the mix for this one. Let's watch again as they go through Bruno Ferrari chicane. That is your leader, Joe Turney, in front of his rival, John Hoggard. Then it's Mark Kimber. Chesterton's a little way back. Then Hudson. Then we've got Apps in 6th position in front of Foster, Edmonds. 9th position is Jensen Brown. Then it's Lamport. And there's Pettit, the O-plate. So the O-plate is only in 11th position, just in front of Cameron Thompson. So William Pettit is not actually going through the field as fast as I thought he would. Up the inside. He's left that very late to go for the move on Kimber, but up into 3rd position goes Tyler Chesterton. He drifts through the hairpin, he gets the place, and that's allowed the 2 leaders to get a bit of space.
The man at the back of the field in the previous shot in the slow motion was Bradley Barrett. Just picked him out as they went through the chicane that time, but change at the front. There's a couple of kart lengths now between them as Miles Apps makes the move on Rory Hudson. So Apps on the move, running 5th for Dan Holland Racing. As I said earlier, won that recent Kartmasters Grand Prix, which allows him to run the GP plate on his kart for the next 12 months.
Yeah, Miles Apps doing a good job getting himself back into contention as he's now up into, I'm doing my math, 5th position now as he tries to chase down Kimber. He's made up a lot of time in the hairpin, but he goes a little bit too deep, and now he's having to get a little bit of support from the man he's just overtaken. That must be so frustrating. But through Bruno Ferrari's chicane they go once more. Down the hanger straight. And Hoggard desperately trying to close up on the leader, Joe Turney. This is not good news for Hoggard, who wants to try and gain ground. And up the inside goes Chesterton. Gets that second place back off Hoggard. This is not going well for the six. And this is an unfortunate position for John Hoggard to be in. We keep on singing his praises. And he's having an incredible season. But Joe Turney is definitely the man on form. And with race weekends like this one, Turney's looking pretty sweet for it.
Yeah, John Hoggard will be racing in the OK Junior class. I think he leads that class. It's only a three-rounder this year in the OK classes. Came late to the championship. Hoggard, I think, is leading that, so he'll be racing two classes at the final round at PF International. But he's certainly hoping to take down the OK Junior class, but he'd hope to take this down. But if things stay like this, the championship leader is going to have hang a little lead, because he's got a lower point score to drop from the final point standings, which effectively will give him a bigger lead going to the final round. We picked out Rory Hudson there, going through Wilkins.
It's still very, very tight between these four at the top of the tree, isn't it? Turney, then Hoggard, then Apps and Pettit. It's pretty much an outside bet for Miles Apps and William Pettit now, but it's not inconceivable they could do it. You need an absolute nightmare weekend for both Hoggard and Turney for that to happen, as into the lead for the first time in a long time goes Tyler Chesterton. He picks out the moment down the straight. Now that's not a nightmare scenario for Turney, but he would want to win this one to put as much distance between himself and his rival John Hoggard as possible. And look at Chesterton guarding the inside as Kimber goes for third position up past John Hoggard.
Great news for the championship leader. He won't have seen it, but he's got Mark Kimber now between him and his main championship rival. So it's all going right for one driver, and it's all going wrong for the others. The championship leader, Joe Turney, in second. As you say, Jake, he'll want to be in first, but he won't have seen Mark Kimber come through to third. If he has a look over his shoulder and see him there, and he will like that, because it means he's got a slightly bigger advantage going to the final round. And it's, the way things stand at the moment, Jake, he may have to have an Alex Forward moment to lose the championship if things stay like this.
That's very true. You wouldn't wish that on anybody, but yes, Alex Forward, of course, famously losing that championship a few years ago in Junior TKM, I think it was, losing it right at the very last round of the championship. He needed to finish in the top 18 and he came home 19th, would you believe?
Exactly, 19th in the pre-final, and that took it out of his hands, and Aaron Mills took the championship off him in the final race by winning the race. It was an unbelievable end to the season, and that's the sort of end of the season Joe Turney might have to have for Jonathan Hoggard to pip him if things stay like this. But listen, a lot of things can happen between now and then.
And even before the last race at PF International, this is Super 1. You can never count anything out. And look at the way Chesterton is guarding that inside line. He knows that Wilkins is where Turney's very strong. Less than 2 minutes on the clock, so we've only got 3 or 4 laps left of this. So he knows that he's got to defend like mad here, Chesterton. He doesn't have time to start thinking about pulling away, and he knows that he's not going to get any cooperation at all from the man sat behind him. We're not going to get a processional finish like we had in the last race for Hannafin and his teammate in the previous one, Jedson Butterfield. This is going to be a battle royale to the finish, and Turney is not going to be in the mood to help Chesterton as far as he's concerned. I haven't seen him look over his shoulder. Now he looks over his shoulder, and he might just have seen out of the corner of his eye, that's not Hoggard, that's Kimber. I'm going to go for it, and he makes the move. He's now got 3 karts between himself, and he runs wide up on the curb. Kimber's going to have enough space to squeeze to the inside. That's a big moment for Turney. He's lost huge amounts of points from that one. Down to third position, he was ambitious. He made the place, and then he lost 2. That is absolutely appalling. Down to third position for Turney. It's game on again.
It is. He's only lost, 4 points the difference between coming first and third. It's not an absolute disaster. But listen, Tyler Chesterton was having none of it, was it? And he understands the dynamic, Tyler. He knows, listen, mate, I am chopping your nose off if you come up the inside. Do you want to go off the track, spin yourself out and lose the championship lead? That's entirely up to you, but I am taking the win in this one. And if you come up the inside, expect me to give you nothing.
2 laps to go. Tyler Chesterton stamping his authority on this race, as he has every right to, and now he's hitting the defence button. Kimber is swarming all over him like a bad habit as they go into Cafe. Once again, he has got the lead here, Chesterton, but look at the swarm of karts he's got underneath him. Kimber for second, Turney for third, Hoggart for fourth, and emerging into fifth position, that is William Pettit. He has worked his way through the O plate. No, sorry, it's Rory Hudson. Pettit is 2 karts behind this, I think, in 7th position. So he has been able to make a bit of ground. There he is, tucked up behind, that's got to be Miles Apps. So Pettit is in the mix, but Hudson has now joined this battle for the victory. Rory Hudson having a look as Turney again tries from a long way back. He's getting a little bit of a nudge down to the braking zone. 5 karts in this, and Hudson's having a look for the inside of Hoggart. He goes left, he goes right. I can't find a way by here into the last lap, and it's really close between these 5. Brew Cafe, Chesterton, Kimber, Turney, Hoggart, Hudson. Hudson's got a new fastest lap and a new event record around this place, trying to keep up with these guys. Chesterton pops out to the right, tucks back in as he goes through the hairpin, down the runway straight. Is Hudson going to be able to overhaul Hoggart? Hoggart's lost a bit of time on this one, and he's going to have to do something pretty special. Kimber shuts the door on Turney. That's going to bring Hoggart back into the mix, but he's not quite close enough. Kimber defends to the right. Now Turney's going to try and banzai through to the inside. Can I gain some more points here? Kimber's keeping that door firmly shut. Hoggart does the same thing on Hudson, and it's going to end as you were, but a great victory for Tyler Chesterton. Well won there. Kimber from 2nd position. Turney is 3rd. Hoggart is 4th, and Rory Hudson in 5th position. Magnificent scrapping with those 5. They gave us an absolutely thrilling couple of laps. Apps in 6th position in front of William Pettit from Tommy Foster, Jensen Brown, and our leading rookie Thompson. But what a drive from Chesterton.
Tyler, congratulations. Really strong couple of races for you. Just talk us through that final.
I didn't really get the best of starts. I went back to about 5th, but I just came through and managed to get into the lead at the right time. And then everyone battled behind me, and then I just managed to keep the lead on the last lap.
How much did the scrap behind you help? Because it was really tough all the way through. When did you think, oh, I've got enough of a break here, I can hang on?
Well, on the second to last lap, I had a look behind me and noticed that there was a bit of a gap, so I only really had to half defend. And then on the last lap, I noticed there was at least about 6 kart lengths behind me, and then just raced normally until the flag.
Well, these are the championship points before drop scores are taken into account, but because Turney's lowest score is less than Hoggart's, he can actually take a 19-point advantage once you take drop scores into account. He needs a stable weekend at PF to get one over on Hoggart, Apps and Pettit, with Rory Hudson in the top 5. Junior Rotax was close, Senior Rotax Max is even closer. If anybody so much as sneezes in the wrong direction, their championship could be over. Back in a mo.